Morning, guys. So I thought I've just woke up. Believe it or not, I just had to unblock the washing machine. It wouldn't drain. I tried running it 3 times. Eventually, I worked out that the drain is blocked. So you know what it is? It's the front of the washing machine. You drop down the panel, unscrew the drain, and it was full of an old mop. It looked like it was an old mop in there. You know, the stringy bits of a mop. So I've removed that, and now it's all working. So I've been thinking I might start doing a morning show, but not live. While I wake up, while I drink my coffee, and just sort of go through some of the comments. So as you can see, I'm half asleep. I'll be honest with you, I'm still a bit in shock about the researcher that has passed, even though it wasn't a family member. I'm still gutted about it. I know that most of you know who it is now. I'm not quite ready to say who they are because I don't think it's my place to. I think that is for the family, but they have put it all over social media now, and um, there's a GoFundMe for the family. So if I'm going to wait a little while, a few days, but I definitely am going to be honouring that person and going through their Facebook page, how they've defended Elvis and Lisa, and going through some of their topics that they put so much hard work into. I've covered this person's topics before many times, and I always ask permission as well, and she's always been very gracious to allow me to. Behind the scenes, she's always given me advice. A few times she reached out to me and said, "Look, I think be careful here, be careful there, do this, do that." And I've always taken her advice very seriously. So that was on my mind a lot last night, even when I woke up this morning, because this person isn't an elderly person. So I was very, it's still with me today. But I wanted to share that with you guys because you're my second family, aren't you? So I just want you to know where I am with this. But I'm not going to make this about Louis because I hardly knew that person. Yeah. This is a person I met through the Elvis community that reached out for no reason to help me. And I think this is part of the reason I feel so gutted, because that person didn't have to help me. They helped me. Our channel has had a serious amount of backlash. We've had a serious amount of bullying, I would say. Our channel has. Very uncalled for. Many of the things that have happened to our channel have been very unfair to us. Yeah. So, because all we've ever done is defend Elvis. So this person who was a very, very highly respected person in the Elvis community could have quite happily turned against us, been against me, and just gone along with the lies. You know, people are always saying lies about Louis and defending Elvis. You know, we've had to put up with it, haven't we? You know, we even had the crazy lady, sorry, inventing her dozens and dozens of made-up stories about Louis. It was ridiculous, wasn't it, guys? Yeah. And we really have been in the firing line. We are now a little bit, but it's not like it used to be. Now we've just got one hater, really, haven't we? We've only really got one hater. The rest are just are just it's silliness with the rest. So obviously, my opinion is that we have to leave the family to grieve. It's obvious that a lot of the Elvis community are going to go to the GoFundMe and make a donation to help the family in the future. And she deserves that. This lady deserves everything for her family. I like to think that the Elvis community will make them, well, not make them, they know already. Well, obviously, she will have had the love from her own family and her own relatives, her own close friends. But I like to think that the family will be very touched by the outpouring of love for this person from the Elvis community. Yeah. Uh, we can be good, can't we, guys? Sometimes Elvis community, sometimes we, the fans, can be so lovely and reach out and really help people and really stand together to support people. That's one thing I have noticed about since I joined the Elvis community. Because to cut a long story short, when I was first making my videos, we're talking a year and a half, 2 years ago now, maybe longer actually, could be two-ish years ago. I was just making some cute little Elvis shorts and short videos, all completely based on the fact that I have a love for Elvis. Believe it or not, guys, being an Elvis fan in my hometown is quite unusual. It's not like I'm surrounded by Elvis fans. I can honestly tell you guys that in my own town, I don't know any Elvis fans. I don't know any. My brother, my twin brother, we have both been Elvis fans since we were 4 years old. My own family, they like other genres of music. Obviously, little Tino and Yasmin like Elvis. So being an Elvis fan has always been, for me, has been quite an isolated thing, quite a individual solo thing. I've always loved it, mind. I've always stuck to it. Many have tried to sway me, even with cutting my fringe off. I spent my whole life, don't forget I'm 58 in July. I spent my whole life standing proud as an Elvis fan, wearing my collar up and the way I dressed, and nothing was going to shake Louis the fan, the Elvis fan, no matter what. So when I went to school, all the other kids were into different music, like David Cassidy and Bay City Rollers. Don't know if Dave Bowie. It was all, my friends weren't Elvis fans. And then when I grew up, they still weren't Elvis fans. My friends were, so if we go through the 70s, like the Osmonds, the Jacksons, yeah. I was the Elvis fan. I was the guy with the red glitter letters that said Elvis on his bag, yeah. With my collar up, walking to school, a little 5-year-old sitting at the front of assembly. Do you know when you sit down cross-legged and you have to say the Lord's Prayer and you sing a hymn? I was the guy with my hair was all gelled back with Brill cream, with his collar up and his bag that said Elvis on it. I was the proud Elvis fan. No one else was. So it very much is a solo thing sometimes, being an Elvis fan. And even when I was growing up through the 80s, the music in the UK, it wasn't Elvis. It was, you had, I'm trying to remember, you had the punk era, massive in the UK, punk. Then you had mods, like Quadrophenia, the movie. Then you had the skinheads. Do you remember the skinheads, guys? You had the New Romantics, is it Duran Duran, Spandau Ballet, which came a bit later. Now, I was a massive Wham fan, George Michael, Wham. I really related to them because, for a start, they looked like me and my brother. So you had George Michael and Andrew Ridgeley. It looked like, imagine me, 16, 17 years old. We looked a bit like them. And do you remember Bad Boys? Bad Boys Stick Together. So you have the leather jacket and the jeans, and they're on top of the pops, doing their thing. So I really related to them. And George Michael had a quiff, so I really related to that. So you remember, obviously, we remember Wham, yeah. They sort of, in their own weird way, they were a bit rock and roll because of the videos they would make. The Bad Boy video. But it wasn't Elvis, was it? So being an Elvis fan was quite out there, yeah. Especially as we got into the 90s, we had all the boy bands, yeah. You guys, New Kids on the Block. We had Take That, many other boy bands as well, and girl bands. So being an Elvis fan was probably looked at as being a bit sad, Yeah, and I mean that with respect, because I love being an Elvis fan. I always have, even in the 80s and 90s. Even though I did shy away from it a bit because um, it wasn't cool to be an Elvis fan in the 90s, in the noughties. I always really was proud. You always knew that Louis was an Elvis fan because of my hair. Yeah, I've had the quiff since I was 4. I've never got rid of my quiff. I'm very lucky. I've kept my hair even though I'm nearly 58. I would never cut my quiff off. Never, even if it looks silly, even if people takes the mick out of it. It's part of who I am. Yeah, I am, to my core. I am an Elvis fan to my core. That has never changed, never will change. I have a connection to Elvis that I found when I was 4, and it's always going to be with me till the day I die. Yeah. Everyone that knows me knows that. My family, my friends, anyone that comes into contact with me, even when I was DJing, I would still play the Elvis songs, even though they wanted me to play all the other musics. So being an Elvis fan is other than my family, is probably the core of who I am and the core of my personality. Yeah, it's always been there. And Grease the movie coming along just boosted that, and then we've got the Fonz as well. Happy Days. It just all boosted it, and So anyway, my point is, so when I don't know how I had come up with the idea of doing a few shorts and a few video clips of Elvis on YouTube. I think I might have just done one because I wanted to. Yeah, I just thought, I'm going to make a little short of Elvis. Not really thinking anything of it. I taught myself how to edit, which is quite easy. I use CapCut, which is a very easy, free editor on your phone or your laptop. And it instantly had, I think it was like 5,000 views. And I remember thinking, wow, 5,000 views. It was a very old clip from 1977. It was one of Elvis's last concerts. So I remember thinking, oh, there is actually an audience out there for Elvis. Don't forget, I love sharing Elvis. I love anything else. Anyone that is interested in Elvis, I love it. Yeah. So I thought, oh, I'm going to make a couple more Elvis shorts. I taught myself how to edit a bit more, bring in pictures, bring in videos. I was not talking on them. No storyline. I was just piecing pictures and short clips together. I could see that they were really popular. I was loving the fact that people were watching them, and I was getting hundreds of comments as well. So then I thought, oh, I'm going to go a bit deeper on this. I'm going to create storylines. So then I would discuss, the army years, or Priscilla and Elvis's marriage, or Memphis Mafia, the Vegas years, the funeral, just all the highlights that we all know about, Ginger Alden, Priscilla. Remember, I wasn't defending Elvis, so I would happily make Priscilla clips. And then bit by bit, I was, Linda Thompson, and we had breaking down the Memphis Mafia. We had some Billy Smith, we had some Tom Jones clips, some Muhammad Ali clips. So bit by bit, I was bringing together all the different storylines, and I was loving it. I was retelling the Elvis story through my short videos, and I was literally getting hundreds of thousands of views and even millions on TikTok. I was getting millions of views. Even YouTube, I was getting 600, 700, 800,000 views per video. Too many messages to reply to. I was literally getting probably 200-300 messages a day. Now, I wasn't really responding to the messages because I didn't really think about it. I just thought, oh, good, loads of people like my videos. They're commenting on my video. I didn't really take it much further than that. So then I started having a few little things with YouTube. They were copywriting a few of my shorts. Then I started to read the comments. The comments were very upset with Priscilla, very upset with Memphis Mafia, very upset with certain people in Elvis's past that had lied. Yeah. People were messaging me about the book Child Bride. And I started thinking, there's a real community here, a real Elvis community that really care about Elvis, really care about his legacy. So I just started thinking, there's more to this. I need to. So the copywriting was happening. I read up YouTube's rules, their monetization rules, stuff like that, their making video rules. And I started realizing I have to put myself in these videos. Otherwise, they're going to copyright all my videos. Now, I was very shy to talk on camera, even though I was a DJ for 26 years, maybe a bit longer. I didn't really want to talk on my videos. I was a bit insecure about my voice, how I looked. Obviously, I'm much older now. So what I did, I thought, oh, I'm gonna talk on my video, but I'm not going to show my face. So I did a few videos talking. Bit nervous. If you go back to my early videos, bit nervous, a bit robotic. Then you start putting my face in it. I didn't like the way I looked. Thought I looked funny. Didn't like the sound of my voice. But bit by bit, I introduced myself to the videos. Eventually, I got a bit more comfortable choosing loads of different topics, not defending, just topics about Elvis, yeah? And then what eventually happened was I thought I need to start responding to these comments. There's a lot of comments, a lot of comments, a lot of comments. Now, anybody that was trying to trash Priscilla, I would say to them, oh, yes, I understand. I understand. I understand. Eventually, my brother and my wife were saying to me, you need to listen to these comments. There's a lot of people upset with Priscilla. She's done a lot of wrongdoing to Elvis. So I started listening to the comments. And then this is how we evolved into becoming defending Elvis. There was a thing, a twist. The engine on my camper van had blown up. I had to fix that. I knew it was going to take me a week to fix it. I still wanted to do my videos. I had no time to do editing. So I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a live stream every morning. And that way I don't have to do any editing. And then I could spend the day fixing the engine on my classic camper van, my 1967 camper van. So every morning I would sit here, do a live stream, and go out and fix the car, spend the day doing the camper van. It took me over a week to fix that engine. I completely rebuilt it, yeah? And I was doing the live streams to nobody. But eventually we was having 1 or 2 watching, 3 or 4. Eventually the live streams, I was only doing them in the morning. They were growing. Eventually I thought, my God, we've got a bit of a family growing here. I didn't really see it as a family back then. It was just a few Elvis fans that were waking up with me, saying good morning, watching my live stream, commenting. We would discuss different topics. And that was the beginning of the live streams. Eventually, we started looking at these comments that were exposing the wrongdoing to Elvis. And then it was a proper discussion then. So then I had to go and do my research because people were asking a lot of questions. Now, my research on Elvis wasn't very good, yeah? So I had a lot of catching up to do. So I started researching, reading lots of books, bits of books, watching loads of interviews, videos, reading loads of different things on social media, a hell of a lot of watching YouTube. And I eventually got to a point of, oh my God, Priscilla, her wrongdoing to Elvis is literally unbelievable. Where I had grown up thinking Priscilla was this iconic wife of Elvis who had been a victim, I really did think that Priscilla, that Elvis had been unfaithful and on drugs and that poor Priscilla had to put up with it. I really believed the bullshit. But when I started doing my research, this is bullshit. This is fake news. This is unfair to Elvis. This trashed Elvis. When I started understanding about Priscilla's unfaithfulness and the divorce settlements and the way she treated Lisa, we all know about this. Michael Edwards' alleged abuse. And then I started understanding this book, The Betrayal of the Memphis Mafia, Red West, Sunny West, Dave Head. But then it was like, right, okay. Elvis has been wronged. Elvis has been trashed around the world for decades and decades, and it's completely unfair. He doesn't deserve it. Who's standing up for Elvis? Who is standing up for Elvis? And it was almost nobody except for the fans. The fans in the comments have been standing up for Elvis for decades, probably 20 years on YouTube, and then before internet in other ways. I remember Amy Collett mentioned AOL chats on when PCs first came out. So it was like, there's no one standing up for Elvis except for the fans. There was nothing on TV, no documentaries defending him, nothing on the news, nothing in the tabloids or the magazines. No one was defending Elvis against all this disgusting lies that have been said about him, including talking about his health, that Elvis actually needed his medication. No one was saying that. Everyone was calling Elvis a druggie, when the truth is he was bloody sick. He was very, very sick. Yeah? You get it, guys? So bit by bit, we evolve into defending Elvis. It's very obvious now that Elvis has to be defended every day because he can't defend himself. And the more I dig into this topic, the more deeper it gets and the more people join in that want to defend Elvis. Team Elvis has eventually grew from this. Don't even remember how we came up with the name Team Elvis. But it just happened. Yeah. So we know where we are now, guys. We defend Elvis vigorously. We get a lot of backlash. We are picked on. We are bullied. We are lied about. My own personal life has been attacked. Even my family have been attacked. Me as a human being, I have been attacked because of defending Elvis, because every person we have had a disagreement with has always been concerning defending Elvis, nothing else. So no matter what weird things are said about me or Team Elvis or our channel defending Elvis, they know, the people that have got it in for us know that all we've ever done is try to defend Elvis, Lisa and the bloodline. You'll never get away from that. They can call me every name you can imagine. They can attack Team Elvis, attack our channel. They all know that all we've ever done is defend Elvis. Yeah. So they never have a leg to stand on. They can't bring up anything disgusting or horrible that we've done because we never have. Now, these people that have attacked us have called us some disgusting, horrible names and are even setting up YouTube pages, Instagram pages. They're really going out of their way to attack me, to attack Team Elvis, to attack our right to defend Elvis Presley. Yeah. And in the end, they just look like a bunch of haters, a bunch of trolls, a bunch of stalkers. So to wrap this up, guys, we're going to proudly defend Elvis. We're going to keep doing it. And being an Elvis fan isn't always easy. As I said, in my community, I don't know any Elvis fans, except for my twin brother. How is it where you live? Do you have Elvis fans around you? Now you go onto YouTube or onto social media, there's millions of Elvis fans, millions. We know that there's millions of Elvis fans around the world. Elvis is still massively loved around the world. So is Lisa Marie. So we know there is a massive community of Elvis people, but actually if you break it down to each town that you live in, your close environment, so the people close to you, friends, family, people you work with, generally, Elvis is from the 70s, the 60s, the 50s. You see my point, guys? So we, in some ways, being an Elvis fan can be a challenge, but we love it. We love it. We are so proud to be Elvis fans. We have this feeling in our hearts. We connect to Elvis. We connect to his golden heart. We connect to this beautiful man with this amazing personality, this amazing talent, this very good man, this Christian man. We feel his essence, and that carries us along. And we do defend with pride. And anyone that says Elvis doesn't need defending, you obviously don't understand the trashy, horrible bullshit that has been said about him for 50 years by even his own friends and family and ex-wife, sometimes ex-girlfriend, ex-employees sometimes. You know, Elvis really does deserve better. He really, really does deserve better because he's worth it. Yeah. So we stand proud together as Team Elvis. So just talking about the researcher that's passed, we are going to honour that person. We're going to we're going to do what she deserves. Yeah. We're going to discuss her topics that were important to her on her Facebook page that always defended Lisa with pride and Elvis with pride. Yeah. We're going to carry on some of her work, Team Elvis, with pride, and we won't forget that person. I won't say the name yet. I'm going to wait a week or so, and you know, rest in peace to that person. You all know who she is, don't you guys? Okay, that was my little morning coffee show. I will be doing another live soon, before the kids wake up. But this will be posted as a video on defending Elvis Presley. Thanks, guys. I know I look a bit sleepy and a bit, I need to brush my hair and sort myself out. My wife's coming back today, but she's not back till tonight, so we might spend the day on the beach. Okay, guys, love you all. Elvis deserves better.